Welcome to another episode of Extreme Expat Stories of Thailand. Hi, I'm about to tell you how a Thai woman and her family turned me into their personal ATM machine, starved me on rice and water for 4 months, and left me to rot on a bed of decaying wooden pallets. I'm 86 years old, former British paratrooper. I've jumped out of planes into combat zones. I've seen things that would break most men. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for what happened to me in Thailand. By the time you finish hearing this, you'll understand why I weighed 110 pounds when they found me, why I was sleeping in my own filth, why a complete stranger had to stage a rescue operation to save my life, and why I'm writing this from England instead of a Thai cemetery. This isn't clickbait. This isn't exaggerated. Every word is documented, witnessed, and brutally, horrifyingly true. My name is Ron, and this is how paradise became my prison. Let me start with the uncomfortable truth. I was an easy target, 86 years old, recent widower, military pension hitting my account every month like clockwork, living alone in Thailand, 6,000 miles from my family. I might as well have worn a sign that said, "Scam me." Her name was Nook. She was 38, and she was absolutely perfect at what she did. I met her in late 2019 at a restaurant in Udon Thani. She spoke good English, laughed at my jokes, touched my hand across the table. After 6 years alone in Thailand, after 11 years without my wife who has passed, Betty, I was starving for human connection. And Nook knew it. She played me like a violin, slow, patient, never rushed. She told me about her hard life, her failed marriage, her sick mother. She cried at all the right moments, and like a complete fool, I wanted to be her hero, the old paratrooper, swooping in to save the day. Here's what I didn't understand then, but see crystal clear now. Nook was a professional. Our relationship followed a script so precise it might as well have been written down. Week 1 to 2, the accidental meeting. She was eating alone at the same restaurant I frequented. What were the odds? She smiled. We talked about weather. Nothing pushy, just friendly. Week 3 to 4, the gradual connection. She started appearing at the same market I shopped at, same coffee shop, always surprised to see me, always delighted. We chat longer each time. Week 5 to 8, the emotional hook. Stories about her life emerged slowly. Her alcoholic ex-husband who beat her, her mother's diabetes, her dream of opening a small shop someday. Each story carefully calibrated to make me feel protective. She never asked for money, not once. That's the brilliance of it. She made me want to offer. When I gave her 2,000 baht for her mother's medicine, my idea, she protested weakly. She cried and hugged me, made me feel like a hero, made me feel needed. That's the drug they give you, the feeling of being valued again. I'd been invisible for so long, just another old expat shuffling through markets, eating alone in restaurants. Then suddenly, this beautiful woman was texting me good morning, asking about my day, remembering details I'd mentioned weeks earlier. It felt real. God help me, it felt so real. 3 months later, she made her move. "Ron," she said, her eyes wet with tears. "My family has house near Bangkok. Beautiful place. You come live with us. We take care of you. You be part of family." Every instinct I'd developed over 86 years screamed no. Every warning I'd heard from other expats about Thai girlfriend scams echoed in my head. Every survival lesson from military training told me to run. But I was so damn lonely. So I said yes. That decision nearly killed me. The house in Samut Sakhon was nothing like she'd described. Semi-rural slum, concrete walls, no air conditioning despite the suffocating heat, and my room, if you can call it that, was a 10 by 10 concrete box at the back of the property. The bed was wooden pallets with a stained mattress. The bathroom was a squat toilet shared with the entire family. The smell hit me the moment I walked in. Rotting wood, mildew, and something else I couldn't identify. Just temporary, Nook said. We fix it up nice, need little time, little money. That phrase became her mantra. Need little money, little money. If I had money? My pension was roughly 1,200 British pounds per month, about 50,000 baht. In rural Thailand, that's a fortune. I'd also saved additional funds from selling my house in Brighton. The requests started immediately. Mother needs medical care. Brother needs business loan. School fees for nieces. Motorcycle repairs. Wedding expenses. Emergency this. Emergency that. I kept saying yes. Kept transferring money. Kept trying to be the good guy. Then 2 weeks in, Nook asked for my ATM card. Easier this way. I manage money for you. You rest. Don't worry. Every expat in Thailand knows the rule. Never give anyone your ATM card. Never. Ever. Ever. I gave her the card. That's when the mask came off. Once I had my ATM card, I stopped being human. I became livestock, a cash cow, a walking pension check. The food changed first. I'd been eating with the family. Nothing fancy, but decent rice, vegetables, some meat. Then I stopped getting invited to meals. Someone would bring a plate to my room. Then the plate got smaller. Then it was just rice, plain, white rice. Sometimes with a bit of sauce, sometimes with a few vegetables. Occasionally a tiny piece of fish, but mostly just rice and water. That's it. That's what I ate for 4 months. Rice and water. The physical starvation was only part of it. They were systematically isolating me from the outside world. My phone credit ran out after 2 weeks. When I asked Nook to top it up, she said, "Why you need phone? You have family here now." But I didn't have my phone number memorized. I couldn't call my children without credit. And when I tried to use the family's Wi-Fi to message them on WhatsApp, the password had been changed. "Router broken," Nook said with a shrug. It wasn't broken. I could see her scrolling Facebook on her phone right in front of me. She started screening any calls that did come through. If my daughter rang the house phone, Nook would answer. Chat briefly, then tell me she says she called back later, but later never came. I was cut off completely. My glasses broke in the 3rd week. The frame snapped right at the bridge. I asked for help getting them repaired or replaced. Too expensive, Nook said. You see, okay? I couldn't see, okay. Everything more than 3 feet away was a blur. Reading was impossible. Navigating the house became dangerous. I walked into walls, tripped over things I couldn't see clearly. It made me more dependent, more helpless, more trapped. The brothers, Nook's 2 younger brothers, both in their late 20s, were always around. They didn't speak English, but they didn't need to. Their presence was the message. They'd sit outside my room, smoking, laughing, playing games on their phones, blocking the only exit. I tried to leave once, just to walk to the main road, maybe find a payphone, get help. I got about 20 feet from the house before one brother appeared beside me. "Where you go?" "Just a walk, fresh air." He shook his head, smiled, not friendly. "Better you stay, not safe outside." His hand rested on my shoulder, gentle, firm. I went back to my room. I tried to complain. "No, I'm hungry. I need more food." She exploded. The sweet, caring girlfriend vanished. In her place was something cold and vicious. "You cost too much money. You be grateful. You want more? You give more money." "But I've already given you thousands of baht." Not enough. I asked to see bank statements. Refused. I asked for my ATM card back. Refused. I said I wanted to leave. That's when her brothers appeared in the doorway. They didn't touch me. Didn't need to. The message was crystal clear. You're not going anywhere, old man. I was 86 years old, malnourished, in a foreign country. No phone credit, no money, no allies within 50 miles. I was trapped. Let me tell you what happens when an 86-year-old man eats nothing but rice and water for months. You waste away. Fast. I watched my body disappear in real time. My legs became stick-thin. My ribs protruded like a skeleton. My face hollowed out until I looked like a corpse. I went from 155 pounds to 110 pounds in 4 months. My clothes hung off me like I was a coat hanger. My wedding ring fell off my finger. It had been stuck there for 57 years. But the physical changes were nothing compared to what happened in my mind. The wooden pallet bed was rotten beneath me. I could smell the decay. When it rained, water leaked through the roof and pooled on the floor. I developed a chronic cough that wouldn't stop. My back pain became excruciating. The uneven, sagging surface tortured my spine. I'd lie awake at night, unable to find any position that didn't hurt, listening to rats scurrying in the walls. Rats that were probably eating better than me. Here's what a typical day looked like in that concrete box. 5:30 a.m. Wake up to roosters and the sound of the family starting their day. Smell, cooking, eggs, pork, vegetables. My stomach would cramp with hunger. 6 a.m. Someone, usually a niece, would bring me a bowl of rice. White rice, nothing else, no spoon. I learned to eat with my hands like a beggar. 7 a.m. The family would leave for work, school, errands. I'd be alone in the house, door locked from outside. For security, they said. 9 a.m. I tried to clean myself using the shared bathroom. The squat toilet was filthy. No toilet paper unless I saved napkins from previous meals. The shower was a bucket and a scoop. Cold water only. 10 a.m. Back to my room. Nothing to do. No books I could read without my glasses. No TV. No phone. Just lying on rotting pallets, staring at the ceiling, trying not to think about food. 1 p.m. Another bowl of rice, sometimes with a few vegetables if I was lucky. Once there was a boiled egg. I cried with gratitude, then realized how pathetic that was. 3 p.m. The hottest part of the day. No air conditioning, no fan. The concrete walls absorbed heat like an oven. I'd pour cups of water over my head just to survive. My clothes were constantly soaked with sweat. 6 p.m. The family would return. I'd hear them cooking dinner, smell it. My mouth would water. They'd eat together, laughing, talking. The smell of grilled fish and spicy papaya salad would drift to my room. I'd get rice, plain rice. 8 p.m. Darkness. No electricity in my room half the time. Save money, Nook said. I'd lie in the dark, listening to the family watch TV in the main house, listening to life happening without me. 11 p.m. Sleep. If the pain in my back allowed it. If the hunger didn't keep me awake. If the rats didn't get too bold. Then wake up and do it all again. Every single day. For 4 months. The psychological torture was systematic. The family walked past my room like I was invisible. Children who'd once been curious about the strange foreign grandfather now averted their eyes. Nook came once a week for the ATM card. I'd watch her return hours later with shopping bags full of new clothes, electronics, household items, nothing for me. Once a week, they were draining my entire pension. £1,200 a month, every penny, and feeding me rice and water. There was a moment when I gave up. It was mid-April. I'd been there for almost 4 months. I was lying on the pallet bed, too weak to stand, watching a cockroach crawl across the ceiling. I thought, this is how I die. On this bed, in this room. 6,000 miles from home. My children will never know what happened. They'll think I abandoned them, chose a new life in Thailand and forgot about them. They'll never know how I tried to get back to them. They'll never know I was screaming for help inside this prison, but nobody could hear me. The cockroach fell from the ceiling, landed on my chest. I didn't have the energy to brush it off. I just lay there, watching it crawl across my ribs, thinking, we're the same now, just another pest living in squalor. That's when I stopped planning escape attempts, stopped arguing for more food, stopped asking for my ATM card back. I just stopped. I thought about escape constantly, but how? I could barely stand without getting dizzy. The gate was always locked. The brothers watched me whenever I ventured outside. I thought about my life, all the choices that led to this moment. How could I have been so stupid? I thought about my wife, Betty, how ashamed I was this was how my story would end. I thought about death, whether it would be a relief. By May of 2020, I'd stopped thinking about escape. I was just waiting to die. Then my daughter saved my life. My daughter knew something was wrong. We talk on the phone occasionally. They didn't take it away completely, probably because they wanted to maintain the illusion that everything was fine. But she could hear it in my voice. The weakness, the fear, the exhaustion. Dad, are you okay? You don't sound right. I'm fine, just tired. But she wasn't buying it. This was May 2020. COVID lockdowns. International travel was impossible. She couldn't just fly to Thailand to check on me. So she did the only thing she could. She posted on a Thai expat forum, begging for help. Elderly British veteran, possibly being held against his will. Family can't travel due to COVID. Please, can anyone help? That post was seen by Declan Theodore, 44 years old, British expat, complete stranger. He had no connection to me or my family, but he decided to act. Declan told me later that he went through to find me. My daughter's post had been vague on details. She didn't know the exact address, just the district of Samut Sakon and Nook's first name. Not much to go on. But Declan is former military himself, Royal Marines. He knows how to gather intelligence. He started by posting in local Thai expat groups, asking if anyone knew of a British veteran living in Samut Sakon with a Thai girlfriend named Nook. The name is common as dirt in Thailand. But he got lucky. Someone remembered seeing an elderly white man in a market a few months back. Declan drove to the area, started asking around, showed a photo my daughter had sent me from 2 years earlier, healthy and smiling. A motorcycle taxi driver remembered me. Old Farang, lived that house, pointed down a dirt road. Declan did reconnaissance first, watched the house for an hour, saw the brothers coming and going, saw Nook leave with shopping bags, saw the locked gate. He called the British embassy, explained the situation. They said they'd send someone in 2 weeks. COVID protocols, staff shortages, paperwork. I didn't have 2 weeks. Declan knew it. So on May 17th of 2020, he simply showed up, knocked on the door, asked for me. I was in my room when I heard raised voices, English, a British accent I hadn't heard in months. Then this stranger appeared in my doorway. Ron, I'm Declan. Your kids sent me. We're getting you out of here. Now. I could barely process what was happening. Was this real? Was I hallucinating? But Declan was already helping me to my feet, gathering my passport, moving toward the door. Nook and her brothers were there, arguing in rapid Thai. But Declan was firm. I'm taking him to the British embassy. Authorities have been notified. You can let us leave peacefully, or this becomes an international incident. It was mostly bluff, but they didn't know that. One brother stepped forward. Declan didn't back down. 6'2", solid build, and most importantly, confident. The brother looked at Nook. She looked at me. I saw the calculation in her eyes. Was I worth fighting over? Was I worth police attention? Nook stood there, expressionless. No apology. No explanation. Just cold calculation about whether I was worth fighting over. She decided I wasn't. "Take him," she said in English, then added something in Thai that made her brothers laugh. I didn't ask Declan to translate. I didn't want to know. Declan helped me to his car. As we drove away, I looked back once. The family stood in the doorway, watching us leave like I was a business transaction that had just closed. I never saw them again. The hospital doctors were horrified. Severe malnutrition, dehydration, multiple infections, possible organ damage from prolonged starvation. I was 110 pounds, on an 86-year-old frame that should have been at least 155 pounds. They hooked me up to IVs immediately, started running tests, documented everything for potential legal proceedings. The nurses kept bringing me extra food, tears in their eyes. They couldn't believe what had been done to me. Neither could I. Declan arranged everything: hospital admission, British embassy contact, communication with my family. He'd saved my life without any obligation to do so. When I tried to thank him, he just shrugged. "Couldn't leave you there, mate. What kind of person would I be?" After 3 days in hospital, Declan took me to a resort in Hua Hin to recover while we arranged repatriation. Real bed, real food, safety. I recorded a video there. Wanted to warn others. Wanted to thank Declan publicly. In that video, I said something that surprised even me. I still love Thailand. I have a dog here I love very much. But I also said, I am never getting involved with a Thai woman again. That I meant with every fiber of my being. Here's what I need you to understand. Thailand didn't do this to me. One woman and her family did. I spent 6 beautiful years in Udon Thani before meeting Nok. Happy years, healthy years, living affordably, exploring temples, making friends. The mistake wasn't going to Thailand. The mistake was getting romantically involved without adequate caution, giving away financial control, isolating myself from my support network, ignoring every warning sign because I was desperate for companionship. Loneliness is dangerous. It makes you stupid. It makes you vulnerable. I was a British paratrooper, for God's sake. I'd survived combat. I'd lived 86 years. And I walked straight into the most obvious trap in the book because I was lonely. My children tried to get my money back. Thai authorities, British embassy, hired a lawyer. But the reality was brutal. I'd voluntarily given Nok my ATM card. I'd transferred money of my own free will. Proving coercion was nearly impossible. The lawyer estimated that pursuing charges would cost more than we'd recover. So we gave up. Nok got away with it. All of it. Tens of thousands of pounds. Gone. And she's still out there. Probably already working on her next victim. Some other lonely old man is probably falling for her act right now. That thought makes me physically sick. I had a dog in Udon Thani, Winston, scuffy brown mutt who was my constant companion. When I moved to Samut Sakhon, Nook said her family couldn't have dogs, some Buddhist belief she claimed. I gave Winston to a neighbor, promised I'd come back for him soon. I never did. I tried to contact the neighbor after my rescue. Messages went unanswered. Winston was gone. I don't know if he's alive. I don't know if he's happy. I don't know if he wonders why I abandoned him. That's the piece of unfinished business that haunts me. Not the money, not the justice I never got. The dog. He trusted me, and I let him down. If I could change one thing about the whole experience, it would be that. I'd have refused to leave without Winston. Maybe then I'd have seen Nook's true nature earlier. Winston was a good judge of character. Better than me. I'm 86 years old, former paratrooper. I served my country with honor, and I got scammed by a Thai woman half my age using the oldest tricks in the book. The shame is crushing. How do you admit to your children that you were that stupid? That you gave your ATM card to someone you barely knew? That you let yourself be imprisoned and starved? How do you admit to yourself that you dishonored everything you ever stood for? My therapist says abuse victims blame themselves, but the responsibility lies with the abusers. Intellectually, I know she's right. Emotionally, I'll never forgive myself. I don't sleep well anymore. I'm back in England. Safe bed, warm house. My daughter checks on me 3 times a day. But at night, I'm back in that room. I smell the rotten pallets, feel the rats running across my legs, hear the brothers laughing outside my door. I wake up gasping, checking to make sure I'm really here, really safe. Sometimes I wake up crying, an 86-year-old man, weeping like a child. The dreams are always the same. I'm trying to escape, but my legs won't work. I'm screaming for help, but no sound comes out. I'm dying in that room and nobody knows. Nobody cares. Then I wake up. It takes minutes before my heart rate returns to normal. Before I remember, Declan came. I got out. I survived. But part of me is still there. Part of me will always be there. If you're an older expat in Thailand or anywhere, listen carefully. You are a target. You have a pension. You have savings. You have property. You're lonely. You're physically weaker. You're easier to control. Predators can smell vulnerability from miles away. Here's what you do. Never give anyone your ATM card. I don't care how much you trust them. I don't care if you're married. Never. Keep financial independence at all cost. Your money is your power. Lose that and you're helpless. Stay connected to family back home. If I hadn't maintained contact with my children, I'd be dead. Nobody would have known. Nobody would have come looking. Build community before seeking romance. Connect with other expats first. Create support networks. Don't let desperation make you an easy target. Trust your instincts. Every step with Nook, I had warnings. I ignored them all because I wanted to believe the fantasy. When something feels wrong, it is wrong. Remember, if it seems too good to be true, it's a scam. Beautiful 38-year-old woman falls for 85-year-old foreigner? Come on, I knew better. I just didn't want to know better. I'm sharing this because silence protects predators. Every old man who gets scammed and stays quiet, too ashamed to admit what happened, makes it easier for the next scam to succeed. There's no shame in being a victim. The shame belongs entirely to the people who exploit vulnerability. If my story stops even one person from making similar mistakes, it's worth the embarrassment, worth reliving the trauma, worth putting my name out there publicly. I live with my daughter's family in Surrey now, safe, fed, comfortable. But I'm not the same person who left Brighton in 2013 looking for adventure. I'm 110 pounds heavier than I was when Declan found me. My back still aches from those months on the pallet bed. I have nightmares about that room in Samut Sakon. But I'm alive. That's more than I expected in May of 2020. Do I still love Thailand? Yes. The country, the culture, the genuine Thai people who showed me kindness. None of them hurt me. Would I go back? Never. That door is closed forever. Too old, too frail, too traumatized. But I don't blame Thailand. I blame my own poor judgment and one woman's cruelty. Thailand can be paradise. It was for me for 6 wonderful years. But paradise has snakes, and you need to watch where you step. Be careful, not paranoid. Just be careful. Keep your money secure. Keep your family close. Keep your wits sharp. And for God's sake, never give anyone your ATM card. I'm alive today because one stranger decided to help me. Because my children refused to give up. Because the British expat community rallied around a fellow Brit in need. For every Nook, there's a Declan. Remember both sides. Be wary of the first. Be grateful for the second. Thank you for letting me tell my story. Thank you for giving it a platform. Thank you for potentially saving the next victim. With respect and caution, Ron M., former Lance Corporal, 2nd Battalion, Parachute Regiment, Brighton, England.